I'm here for your final roaster, and this one's special. This one you know. She is an actress, and here are the movies she's been in. Cleopatra, National Velvet, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Other movies you've never heard of. Ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Taylor.
I'm Elizabeth Taylor. It's great to be here. Google changed the font of their logo today, to which I say, what's a computer? I'm Elizabeth Taylor. Good. Another unarmed black man was shot by the police in San Antonio this week, but we're not here to talk about black men. We're here to talk about Michael Jackson. Michael, you still have almost 2 million Twitter followers, even though you can only tweet once a week. Throwback Thursdays. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk turkey, which you didn't eat. You were a vegetarian for most of your life. I can also vouch from personal experience. He does not eat fish. That was my favorite joke, so it might be downhill from here, but it might not be. Okay, Michael, we have an unlikely friendship. It actually began, I don't know if you remember that. I'm sure you do. Remember that it started when you called me crying because I'd left one of his shows. We never met. And I left one of his shows early. Didn't even say goodbye. I left, and you called me crying. And I said, oh, it was because I couldn't. It was a visibility issue. I just couldn't see. And that started a lifelong friendship. And I just have one more question, which is, how'd you get my number? It's rumored that Marlon Brando had a threesome with the two of us. Not true. Brando never could have handled 2 women at once. Good. Both of us were raped of our childhoods, but only you also raped every award show in the world. 13 Grammys, ladies and gentlemen, this man, okay? A Grammy is not just one more thing you missed out from your childhood. It's an award. Okay. Okay, we both like taking bubble baths. Me, of course, with bubbles. You, of course, with your monkey bubbles. It was just like one big happy family back then. It was you have me, Bubbles, you, your llamas, Louie and Lola. There was Crusher, your pet python. Mr. Tibbs, who was a ram. And there was Prince Michael, Paris, and Blanket. And those last 3 things are what you named your children. Physical human beings. You and I are very close, Michael. You always said you could count your friends on one hand, which makes sense because you stopped going to school when you were 5. So that's pretty much all you got. There were child molestation charges again. We talked about it, and they say I dated younger men. This is good. You once called me, Elizabeth Taylor, a warm, cuddly blanket you love to snuggle up to. Also, you named your child Blanket, so that felt like that took that compliment away from me. It's okay. You commissioned a 50-foot statue of yourself to roam the deserts of Nevada to promote your Las Vegas residency. I thought that would be the worst God complex I'd ever see. And then I met Kanye West. His is worse. They say plastic is environmentally friendly because it lasts forever, but I only wish that were true, because then we'd still be together. You put your money where your mouth was. You started with the man in the mirror. You asked him to change, and he did a great job of it. I breathe a little better at night knowing you're safe in heaven, also because you're no longer hoarding all the oxygen in your oxygen tent that you sleep in every night to defy aging. Michael, you played Scarecrow in The Wiz, which makes sense because of all the friends I've ever had, I'm going to miss you the most, Michael. That was also very funny, guys. I wanted to end with a little song, more of a poem, kind of a poem song. It's called Do You Remember the Time? Do you remember the time you tried to purchase Marvel Comics so you could cast yourself as Spider-Man? Do you remember the time you commissioned a life-size Batman statue of yourself, with your face under the... Okay. Do you remember the time the Ivory Coast made you a king? Do you remember the time Macaulay Culkin is the godfather of 2 of your children? Do you remember the time you died and it crashed Wikipedia, Twitter, and AOL's Instant Messenger? Okay. And do you remember the time that you fought Johnny Depp for the role of Willy Wonka? Anyway, thank you so much for having me here, Mike. Great to be here. Thank you.